lot of stuff. I plan on just turning this into a Christmas show of sorts and just paying homage to those of you who have supported me for the last 2.5 years. But things are unfolding so quickly. Um, mainly, just in case you don't know, former police officer Kim Potter was just found guilty in the death of Dante Wright in Minneapolis, or Brooklyn Park, a suburb of downtown Minneapolis. So Minneapolis is doing it. You know, there's such a thing as police reform without doing police reform. When people are held accountable, we don't necessarily need to create new laws. We just need to enforce the ones that's already there. So before I turn this into civics and American government, um, public policy 101 class, um, I'm going to just say good evening. Man, I can't believe we're a couple of days away from Christmas. So I'm glad to see it come. And to be honest, I'll be glad to see it go. Mainly because Christmas will never be the same for me. Um, like so many of us who have lost parents, and our Christmas routine has changed, we find ourselves feeling somewhat down, melancholy, and so forth and so on. So Christmas does not have the same meaning for me. As a kid, I look forward to getting things for Christmas, and even more so, exchanging gifts with my loved ones, buying things for my mom and my grandmother, my dad, my grandfather, and even my brothers and sisters, though we used to fight. Um, and then, it was a real family thing. But every family has that one mama, big mama, nana, or somebody who's the glue of the family. And when this person ceases to exist, how we celebrate Christmas and the importance of Christmas starts to fade. And at least it does for me. And when I look around at some of the responses of you guys on your pages, I see some of the same things. So I still want to go out and say happy holidays, season's greetings, um, Merry Christmas to you, to each and every one of you. Um, this has been a very thankful, a very enjoyous, a blessed year for me, and I see a lot of my Facebook family buying houses and getting houses, and their dreams are coming true, and the kids are graduating from college and high school, and their grandkids are doing things. So, that's the spirit of the Christmas for me now. Um, Before I go off on a tangent, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to tell you guys good evening and welcome to the show. As always, I say thank you for choosing to spend your Thursday night with me. Choosing to spend this Thursday night with me is especially special simply because it's a Christmas week. Um, and that means a lot to me. I wanted to do this show so that I could give back for your dedication. I wanted to do this show tonight so I could give you, all of you, a part of me, even if you're missing that loved one in your life and you're feeling what I'm feeling. If you're feeling a little down, if you're feeling a little melancholy, if you're feeling a little lonely, whatever you're feeling, just know that I am here. And This is my way of saying Merry Christmas. This is my way of saying Happy Holidays. This is my way of saying Season's Greeting. This is my way of saying Happy Hanukkah. And all of that. And Happy Kwanzaa, just in case. Um, but even if you don't celebrate the holiday, celebrate your good tidings. Celebrate that thing that um, we call blessings. Reflect on the things. You know, to me, Thanksgiving is about gorging, overeating and what have you. And we give thanks somewhat. But to me, Christmas was the fact that it's the end of the year, the fact that it gives you an opportunity to show your love to so many people, and the fact that it's the thought that counts. And you think enough about somebody to get something that means something to you and hopefully to them, even if it's not the gift that they envision. Excuse me. I didn't bring my drink tonight. I was rushing to get here and had to do some stuff. So I'm humbled. I'm truly humbled. My name is Hank Batiste. My show is called OMITdaLOGIC. This shit makes no sense. Tonight, it kind of makes sense because this is what it's all about. I'm your host tonight, and the voices in my head says, let's enjoy the holidays and let's meet right here, St. Baptiste time, on January the 6th, 2022. My show is going to have a facelift, and hopefully it'll be a little bit better. We'll talk about some of the things I refuse to talk about tonight because I don't want it overshadowing anyone's holidays, Christmas spirit. As this year comes to an end, I'm amazed. I'm amazed at the roller coaster ride that we call 2021. It started off with a lot of promise with Biden going in. Well, no, let me stop, back up a little bit. It started off with a lot of chaos on January the 6th. And I knew it was going to happen, but I had no idea it was going to be that free for all. And then somewhere around the 20th, we had this promise that we were hopeful for, but I just kind of knew what was to come. And as a result of all of that, we had this roller coaster of all of these extreme ups and then these sudden drops, you know. We saw justice for George Floyd. We saw justice for Ahmaud Arbery. But and then just this evening, as I said earlier, we saw justice for Dante Wright, the young man who was killed by Kim Potter. And let me just make it clear to you. Kim Potter was the Brooklyn Park or Minneapolis cop who supposedly said she didn't know she had her taser, her pistol, her service weapon, when she shot little 110-pound Dante over some beefed up traffic thing. Um, she she screamed, "Oh shit! I shot him! I shot him!" He went up the street, maybe 1,000 feet, and he died. Um, so tonight she was found guilty of both first degree and second degree manslaughter. Um, what was crazy about this, and I'll talk about it a little bit later, but Minneapolis seems to be on the ball. On the sour note, we saw Rittenhouse, Kyle Rittenhouse, walk away scot free. And I got some ideas about that as well. So tonight, what we're going to do See what happens when I don't bring my drinky drink, my sippages, my libation to work those vocal cords? Tonight we're gonna talk a little bit about some of the my Creole fruitions, my Creole predictions that came to fruition. Let it just be known that I take no pleasure in being right. I said what I said in a Paul Revere type way, sounding the alarm so that we could come together to try to change the future before it happened. I would have preferred to be right, but unfortunately, it's where we are as a society. Meanwhile, we see how the blatant corruption of Despicable Donnie and his disciples has created this brazen sense of a lack of moral fortitude in Congress. There's no other way of putting it. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about some of those things, but I really want to focus on our successes because we are embarking on 2022. 2022. 2022. We made it through COVID. We made it through Corona. We made it through umpteen trillion different variants, and some of us did not. So I think it's important for us to focus a little bit on our successes. And then, lastly, I want to thank you guys. I refer to you as my Facebook family. And I do that because when we support each other, it gives us hope. It sets an example for our children. So tonight, after taping my 101, my 101st show, I thought it imperative that I take a moment and just say from all of me and the voices in my head, thank you. So tonight's show is going to be called Minnesota Justice and Season's Greeting. My name is Hank Batiste. This is OMITdaLOGIC. I guess sometimes this shit does make sense, doesn't it? But let's do this. Okay, let's get the dirt out of the way. When I started doing this show, I envisioned doing something like Walter Cronkite, just the facts. Take all of the emotion out of it and just deliver something that I felt was lacking in broadcast news. And I hate the fact now people have asked me why you only do the show one night a week. First of all, I don't think I could survive it doing it 4 or 5 or every night of the week. Um, I would I think that would be equivalent to 24-hour news cycles, and I deplore those with every fiber of my being. I think is way too much. It gets to a point where they sensationalize the news just to keep people watching. So I wanted to deliver it straight, no chaser, without the influence of corporate support, be it big pharma or any of these other things that shape the news. Um, in doing so, I tried not to give oxygen to some of the dirty people because I felt like if I gave them oxygen, I would be giving them notoriety. And the not so famous, whose names we don't know on the tip of our tongues, would become the infamous. And I said all of that to talk about Mansion because I despise this guy with everything. Mansion has taken conflict of interest to a whole new stratosphere. Now he has the audacity. Manchin has the mitigated gall to say he's thinking about leaving the Democrats. To that, I respond, when were you with them? Because from day one of Biden's administration, this guy has fought not only Biden, he's fought the Democratic Party tooth and nail to the point that we have lost some Democratic governors in some of the bluest states like Virginia. And he has done so hiding behind this mask, calling himself a centrist. Well, next year, I'm gonna get into what's been in it for him. My brother used to say, anytime somebody do something, if you want to understand the person, look at their ulterior motive. What's in it for them? So we're going to talk about Manchin a little bit going into next year, but I don't want that to be the focus of tonight's show. To add insult to injury, we have other members of Congress, the Kristen Cinemas, and not even Nancy Pelosi and others who seem to have lost their moral way and their fiduciary responsibility to the American public and are fattening their pockets. Why? Because conflict of interest just doesn't exist anymore. When George W. Bush was in the White House, and I said he should have to give up his interest in oil companies, and nobody acted on it. I saw and we saw the price of gas go from 79 cents to 99 cents, and now it's spiraling out of control. So, for every year George W. Bush was in the White House, the price of gas went up about 40 cents every year until we got to where we are here. It set a precedence, folks. Trump didn't happen overnight. So there were all of these little hiccups. So when Obama got in there, Obama passed this law that said members of Congress could not use, well, let me back up. Members of Congress could not participate in online trading on the stock market. Why? Because they are privy to information that equates to insider trading. This is the same thing that Ivan Boesky and what's her name? Martha Stewart went to jail for. They were convicted and sent to jail because they knew some information beforehand and they bought and traded stock based on that privileged information. That's called insider trading. That's a direct conflict of interest. When you sit in Congress and you're sitting in committees and you're deciding what's going to happen with this company and what company is going to be regulated and what company is about to go on an open market, and you act on that information, that is insider trading. And for the Speaker of the House to say that she doesn't have a problem with it, that they should be allowed to trade just like you and I, well, we don't have that kind of information. Otherwise, I would take every nickel that I have in the bank and bet on the sure thing because I know when to buy and I know when to sell. That's enough of that. Hopefully, you are incensed by it as I am, because going into next year, we're going to talk about how we're going to fix this, what we can do to hold folks accountable. Hmm. Let me take a breath. I promised myself that tonight I wasn't going to do what I just did. I wasn't going to get carried away. So I want to talk about contrast. Some of the predictions I made and they came true. Then I want to talk about a little bit about some of the things we should be thankful for and some of the things we still have to work on. At the beginning of right after the election, I made the prediction that Biden was going to have about 6 to 8 months to push his agenda before there would be infighting in the ranks of the Democratic Party. Because if he couldn't get it done in that time, he would become a bit of a lame duck. It would get lost in committee in a stalemate. So we saw that. We're seeing it now. Suddenly, names like Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin and so forth and so on are everyday names. These are people that we never would have known unless they were your congressperson in your state. Some things I think we need to be thankful for is the George Floyd conviction. It was a turning point. You know, I'm very spiritual. I'm not very religious, but I understand how God used some of the most simplest people to make a point. And unfortunately, George Floyd was that person. When George lost his life the way he did, it created this groundswell where things had to change. And though it wasn't permanent, we got we got a conviction of Derek Chauvin. So the George Floyd family got some kind of peace. On the other hand, in contrast, the George Floyd police reform bill is dead in session. Imagine the irony of that. That's like George Floyd dying twice. Then, on a positive note, we won the White House and both chambers of Congress. Everybody had all of this promise. I said, I've been here before, I've seen it. Because every time it happens and it's a Democrat, they wind up losing it in the following election they call the midterms. No time like before have I seen anything like this. And I've been involved in politics since I was 16 when New Orleans got its very first black mayor by the name of Ernest Dutch Morial. So we won Congress, we won the White House, but we're losing our right to vote. The Republicans are redistricting, redrawing maps to dilute the vote, making it harder for those of us that, despite the games that Congress is playing, understand that the only way that we can change the law, the only way we can change the system is to be a part of said system, even as broken as it is. You're losing our right to vote. Women are losing their right to choose what to do with their bodies. Congress has become a shameful display of how an elected official can line their pockets and represent their own best interests and those of big companies and not represent the interests of those people who elected them. So it's time to start holding them accountable. We got justice for Ahmaud Arbery. We got justice for George. And we just today got justice for Dante. But Kyle Rittenhouse is walking around free, as is George Zimmerman, free as a bird. and has become some kind of infamous hero to those that hate. Now, the thing I talked about this early, so let me get on this. The thing that makes the Rittenhouse trial so noteworthy is he went to a Black Lives Matter protest to protest a young black man being shot in the back, unarmed and paralyzed. And the two people that he killed and the third person that he wounded were all white. We see history repeating itself. Once upon a time, the only thing worse than being black and being the N word is being an N word lover. So maybe this is their way of sending a message to those who have a moral compass and want to see us all created and treated equally in the eyes of the law. And they're sending the message to those who don't look like you and me to say, if you stand up for them, then you're going to be the main target. That's all I got for that. Let me move on. Let's focus on the positive. Growing up, I realized that I realized why there were more female teachers than there were male teachers. I think men are harder on each other, especially black men, and they find it hard to support each other. Like somehow it makes them less manly to support a man, or somehow it's about competition, you know? I don't know. I don't have all the answers, but I'll leave it up to you. So 90% of my following isn't my boys that I grew up with. Secretly, they'll say, yo, bro, keep on doing what you're doing. I like that, man. But they don't support my show. When they send me other videos, it has nothing to do with them sending my videos to anybody else. So when I give my what's up, when I show my love, and I don't know. I was just kind of thinking about this. And let me just say this. Facebook has kind of changed the game. It used to be I could see everybody that was coming on. And that's one of the reasons I tell you guys, throw me a thumbs up so that I know that you are there. Sometimes I feel like that black preacher, I wish somebody in the church was saying, man, but you don't hear me though. You know what I'm saying? Because I know you guys are paying attention because you give it back to me. But I don't know that you're there until after the fact. So I just want to give a few shout outs to those of you guys that I know are there. Um, Gwen, that little crazy woman and I go way back. We met at GW and we've been friends after we reconnected. I went to Gwen one time because my check wasn't right. She worked for the director. And she hit me up on Facebook one day. She said, didn't you used to work at GW? I said, I thought you looked familiar. And we've been cool ever since. So to me, she's a little bit to her, I'm Big Daddy because I used to carry myself a certain way. Every day I went to work, I wore a shirt and tie and a lab coat. So some of the women around there gave me a nickname. It is what it is. This Lene chick, crazy is all out. This woman would watch my show when she was en route home. when she lived in LA, and she would call me online, not call. So her husband, no, it wasn't like that, bro. Well, she let me know if she missed my show or whatever, whatever, whatever. And it's not just me. Reason I wanted to shout her out is because I see this woman supporting everyone that is her Facebook friend online. Then there's this woman I call Freckles, and she loves it when I call her Freckles. Sandra is crazy as all outdoors, but then most of my Facebook friends are crazy, and I think I'm the only one sane one. So I guess this is my circus, and you are my monkeys. But she's another one. When Facebook decided to suspend me and try to silence my voice because my show was getting, I was getting the average of 60 to 65 views while I was doing the show on Facebook. So they found a reason to silence me. And now I'm trying to get that audience back. So, and then there's like Barbara, a Bobby Jean. This girl met me in high school and started calling me Big Head from day one. Okay, mind you, I was this big with an afro this big. But she's still as disgusting today as she was when we was 14, 15. There's Janice. Janice is my little big sister. Me and Janice's two brothers were tight as hell, and both of her brothers are gone. All her brothers are gone. So I'm the only brother she has left. There's Angela. Angela calls me the brain. She's my pinky. I've got new family that just came into the mix. Some of them did 23andMe and found out that we cousins and what have you, and they hit me up, and they loving on me more than the family that I grew up with. So I could be calling names all night. If I didn't call your name, there's the K's and there's the Tammy Terrells and there's the Miss Vincent Houston. There's so many people that my old head don't always remember. But I want to thank each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart. And I saved this last person for last for a specific reason. How Cynthia Marie and I met online on Facebook, I don't know. I don't know if I started joking her or she started joking me. But she does a lot behind the scenes. She's helped me to put together my show. She's helping me with a lot of this because she's not smarter than me, but she has more patience. She's very bright, and I just won't give her credit. So, all of you guys, all of you guys, I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. And I don't know if Nat were here. Nat would say, and so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. And I wasn't prepared. I needed to drink my little sip. To you. So from me, I'll see you on January the 6th, 2022. Same Baptiste time, same Baptiste place. Remember what I said. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Don't forget to live for a purpose. Because one thing about this game called life, nobody leaves alive. So make the dash mean something. It's always important. With your love. I wish you peace. Merry Christmas. Hair grease. Folks, I love you. Ain't a damn thing you could do about it. Fuck out of here. Good night. Yeah, I'm sick too. Miss Riley, Miss Petty, you guys are new to the club. All of my new people, my neophytes, love you guys. I'm out of here.